That story, the University of Fort Hare Vice-Chancellor and Principal Professor Buhlungu is now appealing to the President of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, to ensure his safety. Buhlungu, as I've just said, survived an apparent assassination attempt after shots were fired at his vehicle just outside his home last Friday night. His bodyguard, Bongani Nkala, died in that attack. Let's discuss this further now, and I'm joined by Dr. Bongani Nkala from the South African Association of PhDs. Dr. Nkala, good afternoon. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. It is such a tough topic to discuss. I mean, you just wonder, what have we become as a country where we target our academics and leaders of academic institutions?
A good day. No, thanks a lot for inviting us to share on this topic that you see people that are about to bring change are being targeted or further on being assassinated.
Now, what's your view? I mean, what's your sense about what is happening here? I've seen statements from a number of other universities, the likes of Nelson Mandela Bay University, Nelson Mandela University, saying that, condemning this attack and calling for action and intimating that this could be because the professor, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Buhlungu, was fighting against corruption, was not allowing corrupt practices at Fort Hare.
I think first and foremost, we want to convey our sincere, our heartfelt condolences to the family of Mr. Wessels. And further on, we empathize with the university staff, together the students at the University of Fort Hare. Indeed, we as the association strongly condemn this attempt of assassination of the Vice-Chancellor or the killing of any of the executives within the Black institutions, because we are strongly believe this is tampering with the progress that is not aligned with the nation building. And these corrupt activities should really come to an end. And we really call the Minister of Police together with the Eastern Cape law enforcement to do their job and call these perpetrators to books.
Yeah, we understand. Yes, carry on, sir. Carry on.
In all honesty, this is not a unique thing only at the higher institution of learning or at Fort Hare. These killings have been observed in the basic education as well. And we all know that education is really an important element in developing our country, but even educationists are at risk of being targeted by these thugs.
Is it because of contracts?
There are quite various issues, because I wouldn't speak on that since I'm coming from the outside. But there are a number of issues that generally aware of that take place in the higher learning, such as corruption, racism, discrimination, unethical leadership, and gender inequality. One thing we know about Prof. Buhlungu is one person that is very clear on his stand about corruption and also about rooting out corruption together with ensuring that the university operates and it's being grouped and is very clear. He opens about his activity at the university. So some fraction that might not be happy about that, they try by all means to take him down, of which we're really against that as this professional body.
Yeah, you said it is not an isolated incident. There have been others in the Department of Basic Education and elsewhere. So the education sector in this particular regard is also a target for those unscrupulous amongst us who are trying to either undermine the governance and the processes of those institutions. As an association, how do you think this can be addressed to make sure that the likes of yourselves as academia and the people who are running these institutions are safer?
One of the things that, thanks for that, one of the things that we strongly urge or we call all the vice-chancellors from the university sector to the TVET College Council to speak really in one voice and denounce these corrupt activities, racism, discrimination, unethical leadership, and gender inequality. The list goes on, because there are other elements that take place in higher institution of learning, such as we are talking about the selling of posts, we're talking about the selling of slots of administration, manipulation of promotions, and the manipulation of tendering processes and selling of qualification. Further on, we have been observing the dominance of the bogus honorary doctorate that are issued by certain institutions. So really, if the VCs are speaking one voice against this element of activities, we will be on a safer place. As we're young, upcoming academics or PhD from industry as well, we are emerging leaders. So we won't tolerate such corrupt activities that are robbing our country.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a sense how widespread these corrupt practices are in the institutions of higher learning?
It's just that I don't have any sort of statistics on how widespread it is, because some institutions, they sweep it under the carpet. I think one of the lessons we've learned, of which we call other institutions to do follow Prof. Buhlungu, as we see this issue has been dominating the news and the activity that they do, they should speak out about corruption, don't sweep under the carpet like they tend to do. So without that being evident, it's difficult to figure out, because even though the report that talks about corrupt activities, you can't seem to pinpoint these activities in other institutions, but we know these things, they do exist.
Yeah, we understand that Professor Buhlungu has gone directly to the presidency of the Republic of South Africa, asking the presidency to help ensure his safety. I mean, that's not an ideal situation where you in academia, as a vice-chancellor, you're going to be living your life under protection when institutions, universities, institutions of higher learning should be places where ideas are and work and administration and everything is flowing freely and openly without any kind of fear.
Yeah, indeed. I think the most challenging situation with regard to this, because I think as an association, we call the VC not to resign, to stand firm and fight corruption, because it's one of the good leaders that we overlook in our nation. And obviously, I think what I find it more disturbing or shocking rather is the audacity of these wrongdoers who are fighting and retaliating instead of retracting. For me, it shows that the root of corruption is really deep in our society, because we should be in a place of safety where it's a learning area where people are being trained for various fields. But when people don't feel safe, our leadership, it's not a good environment at all.
Thank you very much for your time. Yeah, we live in very difficult times. Hopefully there'll be a solution here. And your association's appeal to vice-chancellors to speak out and condemn and not sweep things under the carpet, and for the law enforcement agencies to do their work. Hopefully that appeal will land on fertile ears. Thank you very much, Dr. Bongani Nkala. He is, of course, a leader of the South African Association of PhDs.